Hello everybody, I'm here to introduce you the new Crino Creations game that will be released in Gen Con 2018. The name of the game is Penk. It's a dice roll game and paper and pencil game. It's a family game from 2 to 4 players aged 8 years or plus. Let's see the components of the game. They are quite easy. We have 6 customized dice, number from 1 to 5, and one of the face is a joker, the Penk. Then we have a notepad with several paper sheets. On each sheet you will see the scheme that the player will use to score points. Let's see how the game is played. The game take place in several turns. Each player during his turns roll the dice, and then they have 2 re-rolls. They can choose to re-roll the dice or not. On each re-roll they can choose which dice to keep and which dice to re-roll. For example, like this. At the end of their rolls, when they decided they have finished, they will use the dice to create combination to mark some cells on their sheets. Let's see how the sheets work. We have above the number of the dice. That means that if you roll a 1, you can mark a cell on that column. On the left you can see the number of dice rolled. For example, in this situation I rolled 3, 5. This combination allows me to mark this cell. 3 dice with a 5 face. The number inside the cell is the value of the cell at the end of the game. So at the end of the game, players will sum all the values of the cells they marked. But this is the trick part of the game. Only the row and the column where you have marked at least 3 cells will score points. If you only marked 2 cells in a row, you don't score points. So for example, in this line you will score 9 points. Another tricky part of the game is that this game is really interactive between players, because each time a player is able to mark all the cells in a single line or a single column, all the other players must block that line or that column on their sheet. For example, let's say that this player has already marked these 2 cells, and this player score a Penk, let's say 5 cells in the same row. This means that this player must eliminate, so block, all the free cells. That means all the cells that he hasn't marked yet on his score sheets. This means that all these cells cannot be conquered anymore. So this creates several combination and a lot of pressure between players, because if you see that another player is aiming to finish a line, you try to roll the combination in order to mark the cell before that happens. So basically this is the game. It's a very simple game with just 2 or 3 rules, but the strategic part and the interaction in the game is really high. Let's just take a look at the final points. For example, this is a completed sheet. I forgot to say that how the game ends. The game ends when any one of the player has 2 completed columns. So 2 columns where you have no free cells. It doesn't matter if the cells are marked or eliminated. In this occasion, this player has 2 columns completed, so this make the game's ends. And basically at the end of the game you just sum all the values of the cells in each line and each row where you have at least 3 marked cells. So for example, in this first row you have 4 marked cells, so you sum all the 1 inside and you score 4. Here you score 10. Here you don't score because you only have 2 cells, and on this line either. on the column. 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6. 1 plus 2, 3, and 8. 6 again. And 8 again. You sum all the value here and you get the final point. So this is the game. It's a very easy to learn and easy to play game, but it will give you very deep fun and entertainment. Thank you, guys.